Good Thursday morning, North Texas. Thanks for waking up with us here on Daybreak. I'm Dia Wall.
And I'm Matt Howerton. We'll have your weather and traffic in just a bit. But first, breaking news. The CEO of DART has announced plans to step down.
Our transportation reporter Janelle Ford is joining us live now. And Janelle, what have you learned about this big announcement?
So this came out of DART's board meeting late last night. The agency went into executive session, and when they emerged, they announced that DART CEO Nadine Lee will not be seeking a contract extension. And with everything that's been happening with DART lately, this is really significant news. So Lee has been leading the agency since 2021. She told the board that the decision comes after careful reflection on the agency's progress and its path forward, adding together we navigated one of the most challenging periods in transit history and emerged stronger, more focused, and better positioned to serve our growing region. While Lee saw highs like the rollout of the Silver Line and a new bus system, she also faced a lot of challenges, which she mentioned. Lee and her executive team narrowly avoided state legislation she said would have killed the system. Then, after that hump, the agency faced a revolt from nearly half of its member cities, all pushing to claw back part of the sales tax revenue that makes up most of DART's funding. At one point, 6 cities had measures lined up for the May ballot to withdraw from the agency. Then last month, DART struck a deal that led Plano, Irving, and Farmers Branch to pull back. But University Park, Highland Park, and Addison still have measures to withdraw on their May ballots. And while that deal did bring DART some breathing room, it also requires the agency to give back a significant amount of money. So the pressure is far from over. You add in the World Cup coming in just a few months, and there is a lot in play here. So it is unclear right now when Lee's last day will be, but the agency says that the search for her replacement begins immediately. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Janelle Fort with that breaking news for us this morning. Thank you. We'll have more throughout the morning on that latest development right here on Daybreak.
Now let's get you ready to head out the door with meteorologist Greg Fields. Greg, it's warming up a bit out there.
It is. It's warmer heading out the door this morning as we get you out to Fort Worth here this morning. 68 degrees out there right now. We have the south winds this morning, 13 miles per hour right now, and it will be a little breezy out there for us, and that's going to help warm us up even more as we go through the day today. We'll start out partly to mostly cloudy once again, giving way to more sunshine as we get into this afternoon. But those mid-60s, getting out to Denton, you're at 66, 64 right now in McKinney. A few spots may still be in the upper 50s here this morning, but not for long, as everyone will be warming up today, as we'll have partly to mostly sunny skies heading into the afternoon. Those winds get a little gusty out of the south, 15 to 20, but we'll have some higher gusts as we go through the day. And look at that drive home temperature. We'll be looking at those upper 80s for those highs later today. Close to 90 tomorrow, but we do have a cold front dropping in as we head into Thursday night, Friday afternoon. In fact, we'll talk more in detail about that for you coming up with that weekend forecast. But we do have Erica back in the house this morning. Let's get over to her, checking on traffic.
Greg, thank you. And we're kicking things off kind of busy this Wednesday, 5:03, and this is a live look for you in Tarrant County, where we've got some of that overnight road work on the southeastern portion of Tarrant County here. This is I-20 and Hartman Road. Pretty congested on the eastbound side. Road work clears out typically right around 5 o'clock, but we're of course seeing lingering delays. It's really looking like a full stop if you need to travel out that way. The other big thing that we are following as you maybe make your way, plan to make your way through Ellis County this morning, we are actually following a closure of 35E on the southbound side right here at Pecan Tree Road. It looks like at least one semi truck is involved. It's a little bit tough to tell out here with all of the flashing lights, but I want to bring you up to speed as to where both of these problems are on the map this morning. Again, eastbound I-20 in Forest Hill, and then checking in and that wreck as you make your way through Ellis County. It's a little bit south of Waxahachie. We do have that full closure this morning. If you need to travel this way, 34 over to 287, not ideal. It's a pretty long detour, but you'll definitely want to go ahead and plan ahead for that one. Dia.
All right, Erica, we appreciate you this morning. Fort Worth ISD is officially operating under full state control. The state appointed these 9 people to the district's Board of Managers on Tuesday morning. It also announced that Dr. Peter Licata will replace Dr. Karen Molinar as superintendent. Their goal is to improve test scores that Dr. Licata called offensive.
They'll expect honesty, integrity, transparency, and a commitment to our, not your, our community.
TEA Commissioner Mike Morath says the agency will reassess the district's academic progress every 2 years before returning it to local control.
The U.S. military is preparing to deploy at least 1,000 troops from the 82nd Airborne Division to the Middle East. Those soldiers are trained to parachute into hostile territory and secure key locations and airfields. Meantime, the Trump administration reportedly submitted a 15-point ceasefire plan to Iran, denying any negotiations are happening. The potential of a Middle East ceasefire and talks with Iran dropped oil prices and slowed down the rising cost of gas. AAA says the national average is hovering just below $4. We are paying about $3.66 a gallon in North Texas, but it could be a while before we see prices go down. The war has disrupted tanker traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, which sees about 20% of the world's oil supply. And happening today, the Conservative Political Action Conference gets underway right here in North Texas.
And it could highlight divisions within the party at a really critical time.
Political reporter Natalie Haddad is in studio with us this morning. Natalie, what should viewers expect this week? This is kind of a turning point here.
Yeah, this definitely comes at a very interesting time for the Republican Party. While former President Trump still has strong support, there's also some clear division within the GOP, especially over Israel and the war with Iran. And that divide is showing up in the lineup of speakers this week. Longtime Trump ally Steve Bannon, who said on his podcast that the overseas conflict could cost conservative votes, is set to speak at the event. Former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, who's criticized how close the U.S. is with Israel, will also be there. So will Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Paxton has been supportive of Israel and the war. He's also heading into a contentious runoff against Senator John Cornyn, with both men eyeing a seat in Congress this November. The Conservative Political Action Conference, or CPAC, brings together conservative leaders, activists, and influencers. And this year, the war is expected to be a major topic of conversation. It's also a chance for Paxton to build momentum as a potential Trump endorsement hangs in the balance. President Trump, for the first time in 10 years, is currently not expected to show, but the White House does say that could always change last minute. Now, you will likely notice increased security around the Gaylord Texan Resort and Convention Center. That's where CPAC is happening. So a heads up for those traveling in and around Grapevine. The event kicks off today and runs through Saturday, guys.
All right. Thank you so much, Natalie. Now let's get to three things that you need to know this morning. Staffing strains and outdated equipment are now the subject of the investigation into a deadly collision at LaGuardia Airport.
Yeah, I know I was here. I tried to reach out to my staff, and we were dealing with an emergency earlier. I messed up.
No, man, you did the best you could.
The NTSB says the crash happened when two air traffic controllers were doing the work of 4 people. 2 pilots on the Air Canada Express jet died after colliding with a fire truck on Sunday night. Investigators say the fire truck on the runway did not have the equipment needed to trigger a warning system that a plane was landing. Lime is back in Dallas. The company known for electric bikes will now have 150 Lime gliders rolling across Dallas. The seated scooters sit closer to the ground and can be more stable than traditional scooters. It costs $1 to unlock and 45 cents a minute to use. A popular discount store is expanding to help North Texans save some money. Ollie's Bargain Outlet is opening its first store in Fort Worth today. The location is on the city's east side off of East Chase Boulevard in the old Big Lots store. It specializes in discounts up to 70% on brand name closeout products.
Southern Dallas could soon be home to something straight out of the future. Elon Musk's Boring Company has been picked to explore a high-tech tunnel connecting UNT Dallas DART Station to University Hills. The idea here is to cut commute times, ease congestion, and bring faster transit to an area that's long needed better access. City leaders are calling it a potential game changer, but for now, it's still in the early stages with big questions about funding and the timeline. It is 5:09 this Wednesday morning, and boy, are travel disruptions intensifying. We're seeing this at airports across the country.
Coming up at 5:30, where negotiations stand as lawmakers work to end a partial government shutdown and resume paychecks for TSA agents.
Plus, chaos at a house party in Salina. Hundreds of people, thousands of dollars in damage. We've got the latest from police this morning.
And we're getting closer and closer to the FIFA World Cup games at AT&T Stadium. How local police departments are planning ahead to keep thousands of fans safe.